there.
Yep.
They still get to see their polka every year. It's one of my favorite spots.
They do, but again, it's about what's coming tomorrow. So we're looking around the entire entertainment landscape, the festival landscape throughout the year to say what should we bring in that you'll see in other areas when we want Bethlehem and all the world and the nation's visitors that come here to see.
I said it last night at an event here at Arts Quest. Is Musikfest is like a 10-day commercial for the city of Bethlehem, and it's it's that spirit that we kind of feel in Bethlehem. It is never more present. It is never more in the forefront of everything we do than during these 10 days of Musikfest.
So true. And George, I just have to say that there's something very special coming that is new, but it's not going to happen. I mean, it may happen during Musikfest, but I'm not sure it will.
Okay. Yeah. I heard about this.
Yeah, and that is we've the mayor has a son coming, and I know we've got some things happening, so wanted to give you one of the last onesies of Fester and training, and we congratulate you and can't wait to entertain him here at Musikfest. This is for you, Mayor.
Wow, thank you.
Great.
Thank you. Somewhere Natalie is watching.
I hope she's watching. Yeah.
She's the pregnant one.
That is true. She's doing all the work.
38 plus weeks. Ooh. So there's a lot of conversation whether or not it would be the most Willy thing to come during Musikfest to be like, you're not having the party without me, or let's wait till after fireworks are done,
and then
a couple days later, then come. But
I will say we plan all year, but I think Natalie's doing more work than we are.
That is true, and she is going to be. Look at this Fester and trainer.
Great.
This is unbelievable, and he is he already loves Musikfest. As we've had the conversation before that he's not here yet, but he already is just like, I got to come around Musikfest.
Yeah.
So then in the future too, his birthday right around Musikfest.
Right around Musikfest.
First birthday right around Musikfest. 5th birthday, 10th birthday, 21st, all of it's going to be right around the fest.
And that's the beauty of the festival. We have so many people that we know that got married at the festival. They met their spouse at the festival. They have class reunions here. So you've got the music, you've got the food, but it's also those traditions and the coming back together every year that is so special.
And it's one of those things that, we always talk about how we don't care if you've been here for a week or 10 years or 50 years. Musikfest is one of those things that, when you come here, you get to have it as such a different experience.
Yes.
Like going as a kid, going to hang out, like you're in high school, you're in college, you're in your 20s or 30s, like next year I'll be coming as a parent.
Yeah.
And it's like as you change the roles, it just kind of grows with you.
It does.
And it is such a special thing. We just can't wait. This is great, George.
We're going to be seeing. I'm taking my daughter who's 7 to see Walk the Moon on Friday. And I was telling her, when I was your age, I was at the county fair, like looking at cows or what have you. We didn't have amazing events like this, so it's just fantastic that she gets to even experience this stuff right off the bat. He'll be going to a concert next summer.
Yeah.
Listen to it. So
it's important because
he's going to more than one concert. I understand. It's gonna.
That's what earplugs are made for.
Somebody even commented on here that she's one of those who met their husband at the fest, and it's their 6th anniversary on Friday. So congratulations. That's great.
Love that.
It is great to it's one of those things is where walking around Musikfest, people come up all the time and they tell me, and I'm sure the same thing happens to you, Cassie, and you, George, where they have like a whole life around Musikfest, where they come in for the 10 days, they come in for a week, they come in from New York or Ohio or California or Texas or anywhere, and they have this like every time we come here, we go to this place to eat lunch, or we always want to try that vendor. It's just amazing what Musikfest means. We have what is it? Over 1 million people come.
1.2 million last year, and let's take that a step further. So you have the folks that come in for the tradition, the other people who take the time off and schedule their life around Musikfest, the 1,200 volunteers.
Sure.
Which we started as a volunteer-run organization. We continue to this day. This year we've got 12 volunteers that have been with us for all 40 years. They literally schedule their life around this, and it wouldn't happen without them.
1,200.
1,200.
That is
almost 400 to 500 a day at the festival.
That is amazing. And one of the amazing things about those volunteers that they come back every year is that their role changes. And it's really a commitment to the cause, commitment to the festival, that they're just showing up saying, what can I do this year? What is it that I need to do? How can I contribute? And it really, I say that all the time, is being mayor in Bethlehem is easier because we have so many people that want to be a part of success and they don't need the credit. And Musikfest is the ultimate ultimate version.
Well, you
of
see the
that.
pride in the volunteers, see the pride in the police, see the pride in the city workers, you see the pride in the members and the sponsors. This is a source of pride, and I think more than ever, Music Fest is important as we keep coming out of COVID. All cities are competing for talent.
Yeah.
All cities are. And you've got to be able to offer cultural amenities that make people say, I'm able to work anywhere, but I get to choose where I live. And if we can make this a place for Music Fest that you say, I want to live here, that's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, we talk about that. George is one of those people that
I
didn't,
am.
that didn't grow
Yes.
up here, went to school
Yep.
around here. He met his wife around here. He started his family around here.
So I remember coming to Music Fest out during Moravian. I would stick around, and it just, to me, again, like I was saying, it just was the wildest thing that this thing existed. And wait a minute, I don't have to pay
Right.
to watch these bands. Like,
That's right.
It was just blew my mind. I think I've been at everyone ever since.
Yeah.
And what I love is the artists who come in and interact. Like the artists after their act will sit around and talk to the crowd. Tonight on AJR on First Street is walking around First Street talking
Right.
to the crowd. Like they want to be in with everyone and getting the vibe.
And didn't you mention you were talking to somebody earlier about an artist who had played like
Walker
a free
Hayes.
stage, and now he's
Walker Hayes in 2017 was on a free stage. Tonight, or this week, is going to be headlining the Wind Creek stage. We've had, I think, Luke Bryant, the Chicks, of course. We've had a number of acts that have been on the free stage that, you didn't know at the time. Suddenly, 3 to 5 years later, they're headlining international, national festivals, or right here at Music Fest.
Oh, and that's one of the beauties of Music Fest too, is the fact that you never know who you're going to discover. And sometimes you got the internet, you got everything kind of curated now with your algorithm, but you know what's not curated is walking around.
That is
And-
a fantastic point.
And it's
No one's curating that for you.
Yes.
You do it yourself.
Yes. And when you walk around, you don't know what energy you're going to run into. You don't
Brilliant.
know you don't know what you're gonna see out there. And sometimes you see bands and you're just like, oh my God, I love their sound. Sometimes you keep moving, but when you find that band and you look them up, it's almost like you're discovering something new. It's that feeling that we don't get that often anymore. And the fest just delivers it over and
It's
over and
the
over again.
anti-AI festival.
Yeah. Yes.
We are protecting against AI. There's good things of AI, but goodness, we want to protect free choice, and you can make your choice here at Music Fest.
Yeah. So,
Love that.
So Cassie, how about if you talk a little bit about, because you know how I feel, it's always important we think it's all free.
Right.
Like we think that the bands are playing for free. We think that it's
Yep.
all free to put on. And can you just talk a little bit about the work that goes in and what, any revenue you get from Music Fest helps to pay for throughout the
Right,
year
right.
in our community?
Yeah, that is a long answer, but let me try to truncate that. A lot of festivals are gated, the big ones. So before they open their gates, everything's been paid for. Their food and beverage, their talent, the stages, the lights, everything's paid for. At Music Fest, it's the exact opposite. We are free to come in. There's 16 stages, 15 are free. There's lights, there's tech to every stage. There's 500 performances by more than 400 artists. What we get ahead of time before the festival starts is sponsorship, membership, and ticket sales. But remember, one stage has ticket sales, 15 don't. Everything is dependent on that food and beverage, which is dependent on weather. So we need that support for not just the small businesses, but to cover the expenses. Music Fest, as we say, made everything else at Arts Quest possible. Over the years, now everything else we do helps to support Music Fest so it continues, because it is not an easy business model, but it is our flagship, and it is how we started and how we're going to continue.
Yeah, and on the city side, I mean, the amount of activities that Arts Quest helps to do with the Banana Factory, with the school district, throughout our community, is Music Fest is 10 days. But that commitment of Arts Quest to the arts and just developing, our diverse culture is a 365 a year mission that you have.
That is a great point, Mayor. And so often Music Fest sucks all the oxygen in the room, right? It takes everything, but what you don't see behind the scenes is the after-school arts education. You don't see all the other things that we do from an outreach standpoint. And Music Fest and Chris Kindlemart and some other programs help to make the 60% of the offerings that we do year-round free to the public.
Okay, so we got a couple minutes left here before our next guest is coming on, so we got to ask you. So what are you looking forward to the most? What band? What food?
Yeah, I'm
what
curious.
what is it that
Yeah, my
Cassie, when
schedule.
you have it all in front of you, what is it that you're looking forward to the most?
So I scour through the free stages. I make a secret list. I don't tell anybody, but I do want to walk around and do the exploration. I have to be remiss. AJR tonight I am super stoked about. So
Sold out, right?
Sold out. And after this, they're going to join Imagine Dragons for the European tour. Like, this is the time they're stopping in for a night in Bethlehem at Musikfest. So AJR, I'm pumped about. But truly, the most special time for me of the festival is tomorrow, right before the festival begins, on both sides of Bethlehem. That anticipation, that moment before it's about to explode with excitement, to me, is my favorite part of the year, every year. I'll tell you who I like afterwards, but, I don't want to say right now. I can't tip my hand.
I got you. I hear you. I always like that too, is when, when you're somewhere and you're watching a band and you walk through, and I'm like, hey, Cassie's here. So, like, you're thinking the same thing. It's one of those things as well. It's like you never know who you're going to run into.
I actually follow Patrick Brogan, our chief programming officer, so wherever he goes, I'm like, he must know something, so I'm going to follow him.
Well, at Stop Plots at Payroll Plaza.
Yes.
We came back, was it last year?
Last year.
Back. They have some of the bands that I'm looking forward to also include the new genre of yacht rock. There are now yacht rock bands, so playing like Hall & Oates type. And
Yacht rock is the new classic rock,
there's
baby.
two of those, the Yacht Lobsters and then somebody else.
Is that where your mustache is coming
Yes,
from?
I'm
Your
trying-
little.
You're channeling?
Yeah.
You're channeling the yacht.
It's back in fashion.
It is.
A little Hall & Oates
But there's so
mustache.
many.
I'm finally
I
back
wish
in
to
fashion.
take it
That's
as a
awesome,
compliment.
minus the mustache. But otherwise, I'm thrilled to be back in fashion.
Oh, this is great, Cassie. It's wonderful. On behalf of the city, we just can't say thank you enough. I know how close you work with the city and all of our public safety organizations to really pull this off, and it takes an incredible amount of work. But as we said, it's the perfect recruitment tool for people to want to invest and come to our city. And
I appreciate that,
couldn't
Mayor.
be happier.
And let's not forget, Musikfest started because the mayor of Bethlehem at the time, Mayor Marcinson, when City Council said this was a bad idea, said, this is a great idea, and but for that, we may not be here. And we have, I think, a similar leadership style in Mayor Reynolds, and what you have done with us and your partnership and your spirited excitement about what we're doing means everything, and it gets the staff excited, it gets the boards excited, it gets the volunteers excited. So we're so thrilled to have you here and leading the city.
I appreciate that, and I think that one of the things that we have as our philosophy is, once again, is like, when good people want to do good things, how do we help out? And there's nothing better for the city than Musikfest. And it's whatever we can do to help out those people in our community that want to do something. And I guess the last thing we would say, probably, Cassie, is what Musikfest does is it brings everyone together with this idea that it's not about any individual. It's not about any individual band. It's not about any individual vendor. It's about everyone together. And it's that idea that we're like, everyone's together when we're sharing something together, like the vibe, the feeling. There's just nothing that's comparable.
What I love is that moment, there's several of them in Musikfest, when all that comes together, and what keeps running through my head when that happens is, this is truly, as a city and a nation, the best we can be.
Yep. I love it.
Love it.
Cassie,
Mayor,
thank you for
thank you.
stopping by.
Absolutely.
I'll probably see you. Thank you for the
the
the onesie.
Absolutely.
We are picking up a lot of onesies these days. I gotta tell you, our friends from Schwäbisch Gmünd in Germany are here.
Yes, they are.
They came with a onesie.
They did?
Yes.
Is ours better?
They're all equally the same. they all are great.
Absolutely. Great answer.
Somebody dropped off a onesie to City Hall the other day, just because.
Just because.
Yeah. So
I think we should bring those back for adults.
well, okay.
I have one, not a onesie. It's
but
whatever they call it. A
How
jumper.
great would that be for Musikfest? Just a giant onesie.
I think our segment. I think it's about
I
time
know
to move
you
on.
would wear it. That's why I brought it up.
I'd
You
love
guys,
it. It'd
you
be
guys
fantastic.
can do that on your own.
And, well,
I'm already practicing.
we're going to learn more about what types of work goes into the programming and some of the artists. We have Patrick Brogan coming on. So, Cassie, we bid you adieu.
Thank you.
But we hope to see more of you throughout the next.
I hope so too. And with all
10,
these
11
food vendors, you're going to see a hell of a lot more of me.
You give us
to
a
see
food.
it.
Can you have one food pick though? Do you have anything? One we should definitely try out.
So, I wanted the new Smash Burger on the south side.
I just saw them. Like, what is it? Why not burgers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
check
mean,
them out. Okay.
well, a perfect name.
yeah,
Why not? So,
Why not?
that's it.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Out.
See you, Cassie.
Yay!
Our live
We have
studio.
them.
Our live studio audience. Can
Real
we make
quick.
some noise out there?
Wow. We if you do want one of these Bethlehem shirts, you can come up to the Musikfest Cafe. We have some. But Patrick Brogan, can you please come on to the program?
Our next guest is Mr. Brogan.
Go. Let's do it. How's it going?
Welcome. How are you doing?
I gotta follow that. I
There's
this is
something-
my-
there's
this
a
is my
lot of
job.
people
You gotta
out there.
follow.
So
You gotta follow.
I packed
Cassie.
a house with my own family so that I could
Yeah.
get it going.
So well, maybe if we run out of good questions, we'll just ask them to ask questions of Dad on camera.
I got enough stories to fill that time. We don't want that. That could be dangerous for me. Could be dangerous for me.
That sounds good.
They'd love it.
Well, Pat, how about if we start out by you just kind of explaining what your kind of role is with ArtsQuest, what you do, and then we'll start talking about Musikfest 2023.
Sure, I'm the Chief Programming Officer, so I work with the team, closely with the team that does all the bookings for the festival, and anything that's happening throughout the year, whether it's Steel Stacks here, Levitt, the Musikfest Cafe, all of our festivals and events throughout the year. So that's it's a fun job most days, many days, and including today when we got a sold-out house like AJR and tonight, getting to book artists from all over the world and bring them to Bethlehem and create experiences for our community that our others our size certainly don't get the experience of. So
how many bands and artists do we have playing?
457.
Wow.
457
from all over the world.
457.
Yeah.
And they're all paid.
They're all paid.
And every one of them.
There are a couple of student groups that are playing in the festival,
right.
with a half dozen exceptions. They're all.
And I think
all
that's
getting
something
paid.
that a lot of people don't know. But
Even like our singer-songwriter stage, Lyric Plots, a 30-minute set, often a solo artist. Everybody at the festival is paid a stipend, and that ranges from a modest amount to some of these headliners that are we would do well to make that money, right?
One of the questions we often get, I get as mayor, George gets as well, is like, how do you think about how to develop your stages, themes? How do you talk to people? How does the staff at ArtsQuest kind of decide what type of music we want to focus on what stages?
Sure. It's a team effort, and it includes volunteers, it includes some staff members, it includes the community. We have a number of partners in the festival that help us do showcases to diversify a lot of the offerings we have. We don't start with a number in mind or a certain number within genres. We want to reflect the community as best we can across the stages. And so whether that is a classical group in the Vesper series in Central Moravian Church, or whether it's a hip hop show out on the town square one night, there's rock. There's a lot of rock. There's a number of cover bands throughout the festival, a lot of party bands throughout the festival. Mm-hmm. Those draw big audiences, but we want to make sure people are discovering stuff. This year there's a group from Cuba called Sima Funk that's playing out here on the Levitt one night. They've played a number of festivals from South by Southwest in Austin, Texas to Exponential Festival down in Philly. This weekend they're up at the Newport Folk Festival. They are a high energy live band, Afro-Cuban music. So they've never been in Bethlehem before, and no one's ever heard of them probably. That discovery is part of the fun.
Let's stay on that theme. What are some of the bands that people need to check out?
Yeah, sure. Sima Funk, Reverend Peyton's band.
They're on my list.
Yeah, they're going to be a great high energy show. There's a couple country shows. Tyler Booth is tomorrow. That's a good one. The discovery is part of the festival, as you said. You're coming to hang out with friends. You're coming to walk around. Maybe you're seeing a cover band that night, but you stumble upon someone like Chance Emerson, who's a rocker out of Philadelphia, singer-songwriter with a great energy to his show. John Worthy has been here a couple times, but it is a great show. The Black Opry is out here one night next week, which is a group of African-American singer-songwriters that really detail African-American music throughout America's history, and each with their own storytelling aspect to it. A beautiful show. So whether it's high energy or more intimate shows that will take you someplace, something for everybody, hopefully.
So let's talk about the main stage. So we were talking with Cassie before that all of your stages, except for the main stage, are free. How do you go about looking to book the bands that are on the main stage here at Musikfest?
Sure, yeah, my dartboard. No, so it's a mix of different things. This time of year, we already have a dozen offers for Musikfest 2024 out
so
to
a dozen
agents.
out for
next year, including one with an agent who's here tonight out of New York City. He's he's the responsible agent for AJR. He's got another show that we said we'd love to have the next one back, and he was impressed by the campus, and so that's part of the gig too.
Cassie mentioned it, but they were just
he was out on the street.
They're walking
Adam,
around
from AJR
here,
was out on the street a little while ago. So we're starting to talk on next year. Country shows often, actually every genre now is already booking for next year and thinking about next year. So we'll put, let's say there's 600-700 bands in the world that would be appropriately sized and scaled for our main stage, the main stage. We will often put out, we'll start talking to all the agents and running through all the lists, and we'll get it down to probably about 100 bands who are Some bands are taking the sell out. They're touring in Europe at this time. They're going to be in Asia next August. They're going to be off next August. They're recording an album, whatever it is. So we whittle that down to 100 artists or so that eventually we make an offer to, and from that pool, hopefully 11 nights line up that are priced right, that we were able to negotiate through what pricing looks like. We're able to negotiate the routing that it comes here through Bethlehem, and we're looking for obviously a diverse mix on the lineup. So, we want to make sure there's country. We want to make sure there's rock. We want to make sure there's classic rock. We want a mix of R&B, hip hop, Latin music. We want to make sure that the community sees itself represented on the main stage too.
And I don't most we talk about Bonnaroo or some. They don't do that. They're not trying to get artists for everybody, and that's what I think Musikfest is.
It's a differentiator
so
for us, certainly.
For the most part, you're going to get a good rock show, you're going to get a good country show, and I think that's special because it's literally something for everybody on the main stage, and it's great.
Now, if somebody is listening, like I know AGR is sold out tonight. Are any of the other main stage shows sold out?
Sure. Goo Goo Dolls and Train are both on the cusp. I mean, single seats around the venue, but that's it. So if the Goo Goo Dolls and OAR or Train, what's that?
Are they the new Boston? Like that age?
We don't want to talk about. I'm sure we're the same demo here on this panel, so we don't want to talk about our generation is the new classic rock. Yep.
I like that though, because then I know maybe I'll see one of them swinging by Musikfest one summer.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. There's going to be more for us in the years
Pearl
ahead.
Jam gonna,
the '90s were a rough time for some bands that aren't with us anymore for various reasons. There's a whole ecosystem that's been taken out, right?
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about just how the booking has changed, or what you're seeing in the industry that's changed after the pandemic.
Well, thank God we're past it, in the sense of, it's the first year we're not rebooking dates. We're not still honoring tickets from 2020. Where the tours, nobody's worried about it backstage with mask policies and stuff like that. So a couple different things. It's more competitive than ever before. The food chain got a little tighter. It's also so many bands are out that the marketplaces are flooded with entertainment. Yeah. I mean, just this summer, you look at the major tours that are out on the road, all the way. To we have a mid-sized level venue, so we're looking at mid-sized level tours all the way down to the smallest tours. So it's a flooded marketplace for inventory of tickets too. So more competitive there than ever before as well. So those are a couple challenges that are facing us today. But also opportunity. If everybody's out on the road, it's gotten us some great acts this year.
It really has. The past couple of years at Arts Quest, the bands that we've seen, either during Musikfest or just during the summer, during the year, like last year we saw. I remember Jason Isbell was there, and just like watching him, and I'm thinking like, this is like 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah,
like who would have ever thought that
the Melvins are playing here again?
Yeah,
and it's just like that blows my mind. The fact that they're again, you're right, like playing by my house somewhere I don't have to, worry about. Crazy
driving an hour
parking
plus.
and,
You're not. Yeah, I was just down to see Drake on Tuesday night, and you're paying for parking, and it's a hassle versus coming in here.
Yeah, and one of the things too that people don't know about the music industry as much is they often think fame equals quality, but you've heard people say this though, but even the opposite. It's that there are bands that are just as talented, that could be just as big. But for whatever reason, it could be the route they took, it could be timing, it could be whatever is going on at the time, that for some reason they don't have 1 million fans, they have 50,000. But what's so awesome about Musikfest is we have such a unique venue that people want to play here. And they are willing to play those stages that might be free to the public, and they're obviously getting paid for. But you walk around, and if you just closed your eyes and you just listened, you wouldn't know if you weren't at the Wells Fargo Center, or you didn't know if you weren't at Madison Square Garden. That's just the quality of talent that we have throughout all the stages.
And an example of that, this year, Walker Hayes played a free to the public show at Levitt, right? Now he's on the main stage. So it is amazing. Appreciate you picking that up and sharing it, because it's something that makes us so unique as a community.
Yeah, absolutely.
I already said I'll say it again, but I'm looking forward to Yacht Lobsters. I was checking them out. They're Monday at 5.
Yeah, what's on your list? What are you guys excited about?
Yeah, I can go through my list because I had it out. I'm on the handy Musikfest
The app is, I use the app every day. I'm looking at what's going on.
It's fantastic because you click, okay, I'd like to see them, and then it populates it. So when I'm going through, Moonroof is playing tonight at 8:30,
Town Square,
and they are very much in my wheelhouse.
I was going to mention them as well.
You'll like nicotine dolls too over at the Levitt at 7 o'clock too.
Nicotine dolls. I'll write them
That's
in.
all right.
And then definitely
All night.
where did it go?
The app really is fantastic, George. While you're looking
The
through this.
Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
is playing at Stop Plots at City Hall. They are phenomenal.
We have Devin Allman out there one
yeah.
night too, which is
Yep.
cool to have Son of an Allman Brother and Donovan Frankenreiter in their own rights are a great show. And how about Wheatus out there too?
Yeah.
Are we all going to be singing Teenage
Wheatus.
Dirtbag out there together?
Yeah.
Well,
possibly.
Uh, You have your own schedule.
We're getting
days
to that.
ahead.
We'll get to that in a second.
And Igor and the Red Elvises, of course, Salma Shotwell, all the local favorites. But there's Dirty Dollhouse is playing at Zinsenplatz on Friday, August 11th. Just some, go
Igor, if
through
you're
and
not
figure it out.
following Igor on Instagram, you want to pick up that follow. Special things ahead for his social media account this year.
And we're gonna have a couple artists on here later on.
Yeah.
As some of our guests, and hopefully we can talk to them about what it's like to play here.
Good.
So,
Hey, well, one of Barry said that the app is definitely improved this year. So
Oh, appreciate that.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thanks, Barry. We appreciate that.
All right.
So I got one more
no,
question. I got
Oh,
another question for you.
there we go.
So Patrick, you, as I said, you brought your kids to our live, studio taping
Yep,
here.
yep.
So as a guy, that as we know, this is kind of my last
It is.
fast.
You better live it up these
Without,
couple nights.
whoa, no, living it up, living
kidding,
it up.
I'm kidding.
We are living it up together. We are
Indeed,
excited.
indeed. Good.
I am there.
Good, you're doing it right.
We are. The phone is fully charged. We are ready to go
Right.
when the call comes.
Right.
But I got to ask you, as you're not just one of the programmers here, but you're also a parent. What is it that you look forward to with Music Fest with your kids?
Seeing it through their eyes and seeing the joy, the beauty of the music, like they're big AJR fans, so we're seeing the show tonight. To get to see
That's
it.
why they're here.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't
exactly.
just to hang out with Dad.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I got you.
And a couple other
That's fair, guys.
A couple
That's
of shows,
fair.
but to see like my daughters take to Maren Morris and know all the lyrics and then to get to be able to see that on the main stage
Right.
in Dad's, it's an awesome opportunity. But just it's to see them discover things and enjoy it and enjoy just like everybody else. I'm going to have a teenager on Main Street this year too. It's those rites of passage to see through their eyes is a whole new thing.
That's awesome, and we thank you for coming by.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thanks for the support. I'll see you out there.
Yeah, you
Oh,
will.
you will. We'll be out there every day.
And best of luck to you in the days ahead.
Thank you. We are ready to go.
Good to hear.
But then also, once again, last time I got to thank your wonderful children for sitting through Dad's, maybe somewhat boring
They'll make
podcast.
it. It's a fair trade. I think it's the show tonight.
I
It's
know,
a fair
they
trade.
do,
I'm
they
thinking.
do.
Probably
So,
some island noodles at some point too. I don't know.
I was going to give them this incredible credit for being so patient over there, and now I
they're looking
realize
forward
it
to
was
it.
like, okay, Dad's going to have
This
to
is the
talk
carrot.
to
There's
this-
a carrot and a stick.
Dad's
You'll
gonna-
learn. You'll
Dad's
learn.
going to have to
Yeah.
talk to those two old guys about Music Fest, and then we get to go to the concert.
Yeah.
So
Very good. No, thanks,
awesome.
guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
See you
Thank
guys.
Thank you.
So that was great. Look, I didn't even anticipate all the applause, which is fantastic. Cassie really talked about the volunteers and how they really make Music Fest run. So we have one, Mr. Paul Fissner.
Paul, come on over.
Paul is funny. We were talking before this. He said this is because it's your 40th year
Yes.
as a volunteer. This is like your 6th or 7th news interview, so to speak, in the last few days.
This is number 8, and I have 2 more to go early next week, so I'll be 10.
It's like
That's
what- it's like-
TV, news, print media.
It's like when
That's
they're releasing
fantastic.
like Oppenheimer or like Barbie and like Ryan Gosling's doing the tour.
Right.
Like, he's like, I got the hits, I got 15 minutes here,
He's
I
like,
got 20
I
minutes
got-
there.
sorry, FMZ, I gotta,
Yeah. Sorry,
I
we're
got another
cutting
interview.
out. Well, Paul, let's start by, what's your story? How about if you tell us a little bit about who you are and what
Okay.
brings you to Music Fest?
And I'll tell you what, a lot of who I am is because of Music Fest over the last 40 years. A very good friend and neighbor of mine in 1984 was a volunteer. He was one of the original organizers. And, you've heard the term that the festival was staffed by FOJ, Friends of Jeff's.
Yeah.
Well, I was an FOJ, a friend of Jeff's. And it was like we didn't have a volunteer base to draw from. Nobody knew what the heck a Music Fest was. So friends were asking friends, relatives, neighbors. I've seen that guy walk up the street before. Let me go talk to him. And we just pulled together the group. And my first thing in 1984 was just tapping beer under the Festplatz tent. And one of the interviews I'll be doing next week is with the folks from Banco. They're putting together a documentary about their 40-year relationship.
Okay.
They've been with Music Fest since day one. And I remember tapping beer in 1984 underneath the Festplatz tent from kegs that they just brought in from Conestoga Street on a hand truck over the railroad tracks, dropped it on the floor, and now we're tapping it through a converted picnic cooler into a yellow solo cup that you can't see through. So you're kind of going by weight, trying to judge how much beer you're serving.
Well, there might have been different liquor control board rules back then.
It sounds a lot more
This
fun.
sounds-
I think it's changed. in
This
40 years,
sounds like
yes.
the Wild West of porn.
Well, and then, one thing I've always said is Music Fest has always been tweaking. It is very
Right.
fluid, and over 40 years, 40 years from now, Music Fest will still be evolving, okay, changing with the times. And one of the things they did the first year, after about 3 or 4 days, we brought in a cube truck with 4 or 5 taps down the side. And Festplots in those days, only about half of it was blacktop. Most of the perimeter was grass and mud. And they just parked this truck in the grass, and they put a table in front of it and said, go at it. I mean, no queues, no tent covering it,
you
no
imagine?
entrance, no queue lines. So people would come up, push against the table. There's usually fights over who was next.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you had 2 or 3 people taking their order, carding if it looks like it's warranted, tapping the beer, and then taking the tickets, all in one operation. And then nobody ever gave any thought to, well, what do we do with the tickets then once we take them? So we found a cardboard box and put them on the ground underneath, and we were sticking the tickets in this cardboard
Very secure.
box
Yeah.
in pretty much beer-soaked mud underneath the table. So I've often joked that in the first day or in the first year, we were about as organized as a church picnic.
Did you guys think like this? Were you ever feeling like this may not happen again, like just because of what the situation was?
Yeah. In fact, there were nights we were hoping this would never happen again, but then we came to our senses.
Right.
Once you get home and get your shoes off and get a shower,
that was actually
then
great,
you have
yeah.
a whole new outlook. Yeah.
Yeah.
But things for me have evolved so much over the years, and I started off as a beer tapper and then a supervisor, and I was a Volksplot site supervisor for 30 years. That was my baby, and one of the things I have got to say, and one of the other media interviews I did earlier, when I read it, it's like I never laughed so hard in my life because she quoted me as saying that I was a supervisor at Festplots from 1984 to 1988, and then I was a Volksplot supervisor from 1989 to 2019. And this is a verbatim quote. He was at Volksplatz until 2019 when the site was closed due to flooding. After that, he became a floating supervisor. And it's like, I read that, and I read it, and I read it again, and the tears were running down my face. I couldn't stop laughing.
I think as someone that reads articles a little bit, I think journalists sometimes do that just to keep their own sanity.
Yeah,
they're
they
just
knew what they were doing.
they're throwing
There's
those
no way.
they're throwing those words in there just
Yeah.
to kind of. So talk about a little bit. You did, but can you just talk a little bit more about like just the changes that you've seen in the fest from
Oh, my-
1984
yeah.
to
Oh, my-
2023? Because it is the 40th year.
Yeah, they're countless. And I've often said this before, that nobody at Music Fest is ever going to say, we nailed it, our work is done. Because what you nailed this year is going to be a whole different target
Right.
next year. We've heard so much over the years about the fading of the polka and that being phased out. Well, the thing is, 40 years ago, you had a big polka audience.
Yeah.
And there's still polka. I'm going to be
There's
there on
still
Saturday.
there's still some polka, but you would not draw enough at polka
Well, sure, right.
polka to pay the bills.
No.
Is what it comes down to. I've also heard criticism about Music Fest being run like a big company. Well, yes, it is. It's a big multi-million-dollar company, and you've got to treat it and be responsible and respect it.
Well, you
as
can't
that.
put the tickets in beer-soaked mud. Like,
Yeah.
You get to that level.
And it's one of those things too where like you can't. People always want more things, but when you want more things, sometimes it means you got to deal with a couple new things as well. And one of the things that Music Fest has done is it has always just gone. It's moved organically. It has moved with the market. It's moved with what people are looking for.
We tried to never lose sight of who our customers were
Yeah.
and always adjust accordingly.
Yeah, and the customers have changed, or we've gotten older as the
Well,
years have gone
yes.
on.
Yeah.
And people look for different things. And I think one of the things when you look at the fest, in the past 10, 15 years, about just how much more diverse the offerings are.
Amen.
And they really match the changing diversity of the Lehigh Valley, of Bethlehem, of the country.
Right.
And it still has that same feeling. It's got that feeling of being alive.
And Music Fest is an organization of risk takers.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to try something new, and they'll never keep doing something because that's what they've always done.
Yeah.
Just the conversion from tickets, to eventually go cashless. Okay, we're changing with the times.
Yeah.
There's just so many things that have evolved like that, and they're just never losing sight of their audience and their needs. You know, it's the migration away from the polka. As far as the volunteers, one of the greatest feelings of working for this organization, I've been here 40 years, is Arts Quest really allows volunteers to take ownership.
Okay.
Other organizations I've been involved with, a lot of times the volunteers are the lackeys that are supporting the paid staff.
Can you give like an example? Like
Perfectly. I mean, so many times over the year when you're talking to the staff, they're not afraid to say George's site, Neil's site, Paul's site,
Sure.
you know, Elaine's beer tent, Mark's ticket booth, you know, and everybody in that circle knows exactly what they're referring to. And also, so much behind the scenes is run by volunteers. I'm on 3 year-round committees. I'm on the volunteer committee. I was chair of that for 18 years. I stepped down. I've been on that for probably 28 or 30 years now.
Wow.
But I'm on the volunteer committee. I'm on the food vendor selection committee where we go over all the applications, go over the
Do you
menus.
do you get to taste the food?
No.
Oh, I bet you get that question all the time.
Yes.
It's like, because that sounds like one that people would want to volunteer
send a
for.
sample in.
Is if you got to taste the food.
Well, there was a funny story with that. Well, we did have one vendor we were meeting in the banana factory, and he said he wanted to come in one night, and he wanted to serve us some samples of some new, unique sausage that he made different flavors. And he was using the kitchen down on the first floor, and he didn't know about turning on the exhaust hood. And
Well, that would be a.
That's
all of a
be a
sudden, the fire
problem.
alarm went on.
That's going to be a problem.
And the building was evacuated, and the sausage got cold while we were standing out in the parking lot.
I guess he didn't make the vendor list.
He is still here today.
I like that. I like that.
Well, who is it? Is it Carl Irmer?
Not Mr. Bills.
That's so funny.
Throw his
It's a
business
bill,
out
yeah.
there like that, George.
I'm sorry. I'm
so
just curious.
how many days are you going to volunteer?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. During the festival, I do a week of setup, the 10 days of the festival, a couple days of tear down. So 16 or 17 days during the festival.
Wow, and what's
But-
your schedule look like? Are you here for like a couple hours? Are you here for 7 hours?
Generally, I come in, my shift starts at 4:30. I'm usually here about 3:30. And I'm usually the last one to wrap at night. So I get home about 1:30.
Yeah.
You know, but then the bad part with that is you're all tired and you're sweaty. I can't go to bed. I got to get a shower.
Yeah, yeah.
And the
I
next thing I'm watching the Honeymooners and Mannix and Cannon.
You and George have that in common, watching the Honeymooners at 1 in the
Well,
morning.
we watch a lot of old stuff. But it's interesting though. Like you talk about that's a lot. It's a lot of work. And,
Oh, my
you
God,
know,
yes.
So why do you do it? Like,
It's a labor of love. And the thing is, at least from my little spot in the world here, being on a year-round committee, like I said, we're putting the food vendors together.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a lot with the physical site layout and design and what goes where and how to space things. Okay, and I'm also on what's called the Musikfest Advisory Committee, where it's representatives from each of the different committees just, cross-communicating. And it is so neat to start in January talking about something and planning something. And then in the spring, you're tweaking it. And all of a sudden, you walk in August, and there it is. This is what we talked about back in January. And the other thing that's neat from my point is I'm part of a very small team that goes around 2 weeks before the festival starts. We start here at 7 o'clock on the Saturday morning. We put with all the blueprints, and we put all the paint markings down for the whole layout of the whole festival. And it's so neat to just put a couple corner angles here and a dash there and walk in a week later, and
It's all
there's
done.
the structure on the marks that you put down.
So tell us something that the average Music Fest goer would not know. What is something that would be something that the average person walking around having
There
a beer
are
eating
so
sandwich?
many that I cannot talk about outside of a very small circle.
Well, you pick one that's outside of that small
Well,
circle.
seriously, on a broader sense, this should be common sense.
Yeah.
Okay? And I use that word loosely. But every year, I'll run into at least one or two people that are walking around, and sometimes little alcohol's involved. But they're saying, where does all this money go? Who's getting rich?
Right.
These
Yeah.
prices. And there are people that honestly, truly believe what you touched on before. They think the bands play for free. They think Banco donates all the beer.
Right.
Okay? And they think that, if you spend $10 for a sandwich, that's pure profit.
Yeah.
We had I put up a post and I saw the Aw Shucks truck when I was coming over the hill to hill, and I posted, hey, I'm going to follow them. And then people were talking about the price of the corn. It's like, how many of those do you buy a year? 4? and they have to bring them in, cook them. There's a family-owned company, so
This is a pet peeve of mine that's gone on for years, is the idea that like we have these bands that are playing here. We have small businesses, we have Lehigh Valley businesses, we have businesses that are here. Like, just buy a sandwich, just buy one sandwich, buy one ear of corn, buy one soft drink, buy one beer, buy one of something. Because there's this like little subculture of people that just want to bring their own stuff, which I get. Like, I'm not saying you want to come and spend, but just buy one thing. Just like buy one thing, because that's what pays the bands well. That's what allows our vendors to make money. There are vendors, and people don't realize this, but some of our favorite vendors, they look at the 10 days of Music Fest as 30, 40, 50% of their annual revenue.
Amen. Absolutely.
And so when we're supporting them, it's like we're not supporting some big corporation.
You're supporting a small business.
You're supporting Jim and Sandy living over there in West Bethlehem, or you're supporting, Carl down there in Hellertown. Like, you are supporting people that are Lehigh Valley people.
Amen.
That it costs a lot to pay, and they have to pay. They're dealing with inflation. They're dealing with more expensive materials and ingredients, and paying the workers more. And just buy one thing. That's what I always say. Just buy one thing.
And the other thing that vendors are really getting hit with, just like everybody else, is the staffing shortages.
Yeah.
We have vendors that have retracted this year. They're doing one stand instead of two, or pulling back to smaller spaces, and say they just can't get the reliable staffing.
Yeah, and it's a thing too. Is like, and a lot of the staffing that they have is like they're just tired.
Yeah.
And we see that everywhere.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna. And I know Cassie talks about that. Is sometimes there's a couple vendors that are like, we make money when we can staff it, but it's just too much to ask our employees to do. It's too much to ask them to work 13, 14-hour days, like 5, 6, 7 days in a row.
The ones that really struggle with that are the ones who have brick and mortar restaurants in town, where they can't just abandon that to do Music Fest.
There's one I'm really looking forward to, a Key Ace, which is a taco shop near where I live in Bethlehem. They have a booth or something down here during Music Fest this year, so I'm really curious how they pull it off, but can't wait to go over there and try it.
Yeah.
That's a great
And it's funny being on the vendor committee. The acceptance letters go out in March. And I think a lot of people, this
It's
is
like college applications.
Yeah.
And you apply, and we're going to let you know if you get on it.
This is their dream. They want to get a Music Fest.
Yeah.
And then whenever we do all the selections, we always have 2 or 3 or 4 backups just in case.
Sure.
Because they always have people that get the acceptance letter, and then all of a sudden it's, holy cow. We can't do it. What did we say we would do here? We can't pull that off. And almost like sticker shock. Like the dog chasing the car. Now that they caught it, what do I do with it?
Yeah.
So we always have some vendors back out, but we always have some waiting in the wings, ready to plug in those spaces. But a lot of work goes into the vendor selection too, as far as what menu, what pricing is appropriate where. We don't have any competition among vendors on the same site. We won't. We're hard pressed to even have 2 vendors selling French fries on the same site. I mean, it
I didn't even think about that.
But,
I honestly, I guess it's one of those things you just don't have to think about because you do it so well. But yeah, that would make a lot of sense. You wouldn't want to put those
you
next
won't
to
have
each
2
other.
vendors selling pierogies on the same site. You won't have 2 selling a steak sandwich on the
I
same
wish. I'd still
or
get 'em.
sausage or.
But no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And
We don't want competition against each other.
I mean, I'm sure you love all of them, but are there any of some of your Music Fest favorites or ones that you're ready for every year?
There's a couple, and I always have this talk with the new vendors. They worry when they start off slow. But I say people have their Music Fest favorites.
Yeah.
They have their aw shucks, they have it on a bun. Island Expressions, Island Noodles, Heidi Strudel. So they start coming out Friday, and they hit those. And now come Tuesday or Wednesday, now they're ready to try something new. That's when they start hitting up the new vendors. I mean, we had some strange things over the years. The one that really, really sticks in my mind is Scrapple on a Stick.
That's great. The pickle on the stick, if they still have it, was when I was like
That's
poor
JR's, yeah,
when I was
yeah.
a poor college student. I just remember it was the cheapest thing you could buy. It was 3 tickets, and we would just at the end when you only had a few left, we would go in and make sure that we tried them all.
Yeah, but we had Scrapple on a Stick, we had the alligator and ostrich and all that stuff. You have we have them now. We have the deep fried Oreos and the deep fried Snickers.
So talk a little bit. We got a couple minutes left here.
Not emergency.
So we got a couple minutes here.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the camaraderie between the volunteers?
Oh, my God,
what it's like? Do you
So-
hang out with each other? Do you get
Yes.
invited to each other's weddings? What's that like?
So many people have made the comment that it's like a dysfunctional family reunion every August. That these people are your best friends for 2 weeks a year, and even though you might only live a couple blocks apart, you don't see each other the rest of the year. Paths don't cross.
Yep.
But then the opposite is true too. I mean, some of my best friends are Musikfest people.
Yep.
I have a Christmas party at my house every year, probably with 12, 14, 16, Musikfest people and their spouses. I've already gone on vacation on the shore with Musikfest friends. Yeah. In fact, I got involved, as you probably know, in another 501c3 children's charity, and my partner and I just started that. He's a Musikfest site supervisor, as I am. And we took what we learned here and started our own 501c3.
Yeah.
Really good friends. And I could think of at least 5 or 6. The old guys that get together for breakfast once a month, well, they're Musikfest buddies.
Yep. So it is a situation where, and you can tell that camaraderie. You can tell the idea of that, like, you get along with each other, that there's something special about it.
There really is.
It's like you went to the same college.
Yeah.
It's like, you're from the same neighborhood.
In a way, we did.
Yeah, exactly. So you're sharing those experiences. You're sharing those experiences with each other, but at the same time, like, you can see it. So, okay. So I think we're almost out of time, but I got to ask you one more thing.
Absolutely.
So whoever we have watching, however many people are out there watching, the question that we have, what should people to Musikfest know? Or what would you like them to do? If there was one thing you could ask the average person to do, if you think that maybe the fest gets a little bit dirty at times, or there's not enough please and thank yous, what is it that you think the average person should know?
You mentioned that. We have vendors who do multiple festivals throughout the country. They are amazed, and I've had any number of them tell me at the end of the night how clean our festival grounds are, that it is amazing. And I don't want to name names of other festivals, but oh my God, they're saying that it is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So they respect that. I would say just be patient.
Yeah.
Enjoy. The world, life is good. You're out here in a beautiful place. The music is playing. You're in a great atmosphere. Enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah, I think they turn the music up a little bit louder outside as you said that, but
yeah, I'm talking a little bit louder here too. Yeah.
No, I agree with you though. It's a situation where I'm always like be patient.
Yeah.
Like these are human beings.
Yeah.
Like it's not like not everybody is like paying attention exactly what you need right now at this exact moment.
Yeah.
We need some patience.
You're here to enjoy and relax.
Yep.
Don't be in such a hurry to relax.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it for all it's worth.
No, absolutely. Well, we could not be more thankful for both your service, 40 years.
Yeah.
This is only George and I's second year that we've been doing doing
second
this.
annual.
But I want to just thank you on behalf of everybody in the city of Bethlehem, as the
Thank
mayor
you.
and everybody else that just wants to thank you for your service. Thank you for stopping by and talking to us for a little bit about everything that goes into being a volunteer.
And especially with all the setup and all the front end things at Musikfest, I see all the support and help and that we get from the city services.
Yeah.
And 90% of them are really.
We have a lot of dedicated, passionate.
You always have those
professionals.
1 or 2 grumps, but that's life anywhere you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also thank your volunteers this year. I mean, you should do it every year, but it's 40th. It's special. It's fantastic that we have 12 that have been doing it for 40 years, which is just
including
amazing.
Pat Hollis, a chicken lady. They retired to Florida. She comes
She's
back
going
from
back.
Florida every
She's
year.
coming
Yeah.
back. I think she's
yeah,
going to
she's
be
back. Yeah, she was here the other night.
I think she's going to be at the opening ceremony tomorrow.
Which is
Her and Cal were here the other night. I was talking to
I
them.
think I heard Cassie talk about that too.
So she comes back from Florida to keep the string alive.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you out
Take
there.
care, George.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see you out there.
It's so funny. People can't see what's going on behind the scenes. If I could, I would turn it around. But we're like, there's traffic going on. But Haley Jackson is here and is going to perform. We're going to switch things up a little bit. The mayor of Schwäbisch Gmünd is in traffic.
Schwäbisch.
Is it Schwäbisch?
Schwäbisch.
I've been saying Schwäbisch.
It's okay. Schwäbisch Gmünd. So
Schwäbisch Gmünd.
He's in traffic.
He's in traffic, but they are on their way. So and some of the what am I saying? Council people are here.
Yes. Our sister city
Yes.
delegation. So yes, we have our sister city
Can you talk about
delegation.
that a little
yeah,
bit?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So Bethlehem has a bunch of sister cities. We are actually also in the process of developing another one with a city in Puerto Rico. But we're celebrating 32 years of our sister city relationship with Schwäbisch Gmünd. And so the mayor is here this week with 5 different city council people 5 different political parties. It's a whole different thing.
interesting.
And a couple other just dynamite staff people that are here that have really been doing a lot of things with the Discover Lehigh Valley and talking to us about what we've done with economic revitalization. And they're just going to walk around Musikfest and have a good time. And we're going to welcome them on a little bit. But I think we have our next guest here as well.
Haley, come over and get comfortable.
Haley, come on over.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
We are doing well. We are doing well. Welcome. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having
we're
me.
We're gonna ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
Ask you about your career, who you are, and then we're gonna hear a little music.
Sure, that sounds great.
How was it walking in here?
It was fine. It was a little busy.
Yeah.
It's so busy, guys, for preview night. So I didn't expect it to be this poppin' already.
It's already,
I was
it
like,
is.
oh my gosh. So yeah.
Haley, tell everybody listening, watching a little bit about who you are and your kind of music career.
Yeah, so I've sang my whole life since I was 12. Always just loved to sing. I started playing guitar at 12 too. I took some lessons, had a little bit of singing lessons, and then just kind of went from there. And then in college, I started doing open mic nights and kind of getting more out there. And then eventually, I met a friend. His name's actually Ian Gallagher. He's in the Stray Seeds.
Yeah,
and he,
I know him.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
I know him.
And he really helped me get into gigging and getting
great.
equipment and stuff. So, and then I started gigging for the past like 2.5 years. And
To post-COVID, sort of?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like literally right post-COVID. So, been loving it and getting a lot more opportunities. And especially with Musikfest this year, I have 4 official shows at Musikfest, and then I have some other
So
shows.
4 shows. So most importantly,
Yeah.
when are your 4 shows?
Oh my gosh,
Put
I
those out
did
there.
write them down because I
Good.
don't want to mess it
You
up.
are in the app.
We have the app too, so we also
Great.
can look it up.
Perfect.
But
Okay.
so George can look that up
Yeah,
Okay, great.
while we're playing.
Great.
But that's awesome.
Yeah.
And where are you originally from?
So actually, I was born in England, so
Oh,
that's my
nice.
like fun
Awesome.
fact. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, I
We
was
have a
born in
very
England.
international.
We do. It's-
We were about to
Yeah.
have some of our German friends on in
awesome.
a little while.
Very cool.
But okay, so you're born in England.
Born in England, don't have the accent anymore. So this place called Huddersfield, Yorkshire. So moved over here when I was 7 and lived in Lehigh Valley since.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. It's one of the things that George and I talk about is that, there is an incredible amount of people that obviously been here their whole lives, but also it's when new people move and they bring
Yeah.
their energy and they bring just the the idea of vibrancy, and it's just awesome. And George and I talk about that all the time. It's like we have very different Lehigh Valley stories. I was one of the traditional ones, grew up here, blah blah blah. And George and I met in
Came from
college
college,
at Moravian,
and stayed around.
and he wasn't from here, but he stayed here. And this is kind of one of the secrets of our success
Yeah.
is people like yourself that moved here from somewhere else, stayed in the Lehigh Valley, and are bringing this energy that reflects kind of all of the excitement about what's going on.
I love that. It's
Yeah.
a really great perspective. Yeah.
So awesome. So thank you
Yeah.
for coming. So why don't
for
you?
having
So what are you going to play for us here?
So I've been writing some more original songs, and I have some music that I'm going to start recording professionally coming out hopefully next year. That's what I'm hoping for. So this is just a little snippet. This is a song I wrote a couple years ago called Your Song. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Thought your love I'd never find, never guess you'd be the one to change my mind. Big mistakes, many scars, all erased when you walked into my life. But I don't think you know how much you mean to me. So I'll just sing it out loud so you can finally see that everything you do, I wanna be standing next to you. about those nights, sharing love between sheets so wide. Oh, but I don't think you know how much you mean to me. So I'll just sing it out loud so you can finally see that everything you do, I wanna be standing next to you, holding your hand through the pain, smiling through tears, and anything you say will be my light to lead the way back to your eyes where I belong. So baby, please listen, 'cause this is your song. This is your song.
Great.
Haley, that was awesome.
Thank you so much.
That was just fantastic. We have all these people commenting,
You've
sending
only
us.
been gigging for 2 years. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I did pull up your dates, so you didn't have to memorize them.
Oh, thank you.
I
Friday,
like it
August.
that you have so many dates. You're not even sure which
There's
ones
4.
you're playing. It's like Taylor. She's like not even sure what city she's going to next. Like I'm in Philadelphia. I'm in New York. I don't know. I just know I'm just doing something. I'm going to play somewhere.
The easiest way is, of course, the Musikfest app. Go on there. I just searched your name. But Friday, August 4th at the Lyric Platz at 6 o'clock, and then at the Blue Shield Community Stage at 8:30, and then Saturday, August 5th, the Martin Guitar Stage, and Thursday, August 10th at Lyric Platz. And you can find all the times and everything on here in Adam Team's schedule.
And you were playing a beautiful Martin.
Yes,
It's
I
almost
am.
like product
Representing.
placement.
Be careful,
It is
careful,
almost.
Mayor.
It is well. No. Martin is one of the sponsors of Musikfest. They've
I
been a
believe-
long time sponsor.
I believe our German friends toured there today.
Yes, I think the German delegation toured there today. I have a Martin as well.
Yeah?
Yep, it's sitting right there in the mayor's office. Once in a while, the
Ooh,
long
very
days,
nice.
people stop by. We have to write songs together, just to just to pass the time.
It's just a part of your routine now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is absolutely. But Haley, this has been wonderful.
Yes.
So,
It
so,
has been.
so thank you for stopping by.
Absolutely.
Everybody out there, Haley Jackson. Check
partner of the
check
Musikfest
her
app.
out. Check out the app. And Haley, thank you. And we will definitely see you. So if you
Yes.
see us out there, just wave to us. Be
I
like
will.
George, Willie.
Yeah.
Just
I will. 2 arms.
Be down.
Two
Yeah.
arm wave. Yeah.
Yes.
And if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Haley Jackson. That's HAYLEY Jackson _ It's that line that goes a little bit below. So yeah, follow me.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
Haley, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you,
having me.
Haley.
See ya.
Now,
We'll see you.
fantastic. I love that we have like a little audience here. Now's the hard part here.
So let's first just talk
Okay.
about how, like, Haley is also, and we've talked a lot, George, and we always are trying to support local music. We're trying
Yeah.
to
Oh,
support
yeah.
local independent original music. People that are writing their own songs, like Haley, that are going out there. Like, there's nothing wrong with cover bands. We all love
Oh, of
cover
course.
bands.
I'm sure she
but we
plays some
also,
covers.
yes,
Yeah.
we all do. We all have to have those in the repertoire. But at the same time, like, Musikfest is just the center of independent music. And you
Yes.
have so many people that are writing their own songs, so much original music going on, and we are supporting that 365 days a year in Bethlehem, but especially these 10 days. Fantastic artists like Haley Jackson. So, once again, as we say all the time, like, support with your feet, walk around, cheer them on, make sure people understand that that's what we want Musikfest to be.
Honestly, she could be someone, like you said about Walker Hayes, playing the big stage later. There's no reason why you couldn't say the same for Haley Jackson down
Yeah,
the road. So
yep,
it's-
absolutely. So thank you
Wonderful.
again, Haley. Awesome job, awesome job, awesome job.
All right, we're
Okay, now.
gonna try to do this. Who's coming on?
Now we have a transition here. We are bringing on our friend from Germany, the mayor of Schwäbisch Gmünd, Mayor Arnold. It's good to see you again. So, Mayor, welcome. You're seeing Musikfest here. This is the beginning of our 10-day music festival, which, as you know, we got the idea from Germany. We got the idea from the music festivals that, many people from Bethlehem visited in Germany. And I was saying before, Mayor Arnold, that, we have been it's been thrilling for us over the past couple of days to welcome you and some of the other city councilors from Schwäbisch Gmünd. You've been taking in the city, learning about Bethlehem's formula. And this is George. George,
we met at the Iron Pig.
Oh, so you guys met.
We're watching some
You're doing the
baseball
full
together.
Lehigh Valley experience, huh?
Well, if I get asked to go out, I'm gonna go. But that was a lot of fun. It was great to meet all you guys at the Iron Pigs. How did you love the baseball game?
Well, I loved it, and I did my first pitch.
Yes,
Yes, yes,
Yes,
I
that
saw
was
a
great,
picture of
great
that.
thing. Yeah.
The first pitch. So,
Yeah.
tell us about yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, my name is Richard Arnold. I've been mayor in a quaint little town in southern Germany called Schwäbisch Gmünd, which is the sister city to Bethlehem. And we're very proud to have a sister city in the United States, I must say. Well, and I've been mayor for 14 years.
Wow.
It's a long time.
It is a long time, and well, it's because in southern Germany the mayors are elected for 8 years. So
Really?
one term is 8 years, and I'm in my second term.
Okay. Would you prefer an 8-year term, or I don't know?
I take it all day by day. Everything around these parts is a day by day experience, George.
Well, and it's also interesting. You mentioned that all the delegation here. There's 5 different political parties as well, and they're represented.
That's right. Well, the functioning of local politics in Germany is quite different because you've got a council. But get this, our council is not like 7 or 8 members. No, the council we have in Schwäbisch Gmünd consists of 53 members.
Oh my!
53 members. So that means council meetings are going on and on and
probably
on.
haven't
I have no idea what that's like. I can't fathom this idea of long council meetings. I'm unfamiliar with that dynamic.
3 members.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Schwäbisch Gmünd. What kind of city is it? Just tell us a little bit more about.
Yeah,
the
it's
city.
a typical German city. Like it was founded 1,000 years ago, and it has got old buildings. Like we've got a church which was built in the year 1100.
You think we're old?
And and we have got nice people there, 63,000 people, and they are very aware of being citizen, because being citizen in Germany means that you are not just a consumer. No, you are someone who has to contribute to communal life. So that's quite different. It's a different notion of local politics, because that means you live there. But since you live there, of course, you benefit from what is there, but you also have to contribute.
I think that's the spirit that we got to start Musikfest. Over 10 days, we got 1 million people. We were hearing before, 1,200 volunteers, right?
Right.
We have 1,200 volunteers that helped
Great.
to put this on, this music festival that you're going to
Amazing.
see over the next couple of days. And that wouldn't happen, though, without people saying, I want to be a part of this. And that feeling, the vibe, what you see outside that spirit comes down to that idea of community, that idea of that we're all gonna work together. And just over the past couple of days, getting to know your counselors, it's just it's amazing to me about how you are all committed to this idea of working together, to this idea of community. I'm sure politics are politics, and
Yeah,
there's
but,
disagreements once in a while, but the things that we share, as we say, the space between us, that place that we share, that's the kind of backbone of everything that.
But
that
as
you
we
guys
say,
want.
Mayor Reynolds, in German we say that those who work must also party.
Oh, whoa.
So
Yes.
Schwäbisch Gmünd is my type of town.
Yeah. Schwäbisch Gmünd sounds like the Bethlehem of
It does.
Germany.
We have many things in common. At the game yesterday, my daughter got a unicorn pin. So unicorn is sort of like our Bethlehem star in a way. Can you talk about that?
That's
Yeah, the unicorn.
Well, you in Bethlehem, you've got the star, which is quite amazing, and we in Schwäbisch Gmünd, we've got the unicorn. The unicorn is is the emblem of Schwäbisch Gmünd. It's on our banner and it's everywhere, and of course, we are very lucky to have the unicorn, and we've had it, forget this, for more than 750 years.
The length of time, because we, of course, I'm sure you've got a tour of the history, the Moravians, and it goes back a couple hundred years, and we think that's so long ago, just to fathom the 1,000 years that it's been around.
As you know, some people think of like American old, and then there's like old.
Really old, right.
And you know, the history in Europe and the history when you say some of these things about 1,000 years, or it's the symbol for 700 years. Bethlehem, we cherish our history, and we're not even pushing 300 years.
Right.
And just to hear that, but there's something to be said about the strength of a community being together for that long.
Of course, you have got a strong identity because you're aware of all this history. But at the same time, of course, you have to look forward and you have to confront future. And this is also why we came to Bethlehem, because we want to learn. We want to see how you guys are doing things, how you are confronting the challenges of the future. And we've learned already quite a lot, because what I've learned is that if you want to make change happen in a positive way, then you have to be optimistic, then you have to be courageous, and you have to see that change can also be a chance. And this is what I learned from Bethlehem, and that you started with culture. That culture becomes a key element of change. I think that's amazing. I think that I can take to Europe and to Schwäbisch Gmünd.
Yeah, and I mean, we are here. You can see our former steel site here. What we have started to do with the revitalization and the redevelopment of this site, obviously Steel Stacks and Musikfest, but you're right. It's that culture. It's that thing that holds us together when the economy's not great, when the steel site shuts down. It's that optimism. And that's one of the things that George and I talk about all the time, is people deal with all the same type of things. It's like, are we going to look at this as an opportunity, or are we going to look at this as a loss, as something that's not the same anymore? And we are both just very, to our core, optimistic people, as you are. When there's something that's not going great, we must look at it as an opportunity. It's like it's raining outside. It doesn't mean that we have to have a miserable day. It's like, what's the best thing we can do today when it's raining, and then tomorrow when it's sunny? We have that opportunity.
And I love this optimistic way here. Yeah. It's easily said, because indeed there are some people who really struggle, and for them it's quite an effort to stay optimistic. And
sure.
And you know what helps is this communal sense, is this belonging together, is this we belong to the same community which has got an identity, and from there this can be a source of strength. And I wish everyone to feel this being part of the commune, of a nice city, of a really strong city, like Bethlehem.
Thank you. So I was going to ask, what do you think about Bethlehem so far? You've been here a couple days. Tuesday, I got to tell people, they had a long day of travel. They got here and they really wanted to come to our city council meeting. So they really wanted to come. So they came. We introduced the mayor and everybody. They hung out for the meeting. They talked to our city council people after the meeting. They just had a great time. You've had a busy couple of days. You have a busy couple of days coming up. So just share a little bit about what the experience has been like so far, or maybe what your favorite thing has been.
After 20 hours of travel, we then got into the council meeting. That was quite an adventure for us, because it was different. Because there we were in a council meeting, expecting many people being there. It was not like that. There were 7 councillors, and then someone was raising an issue, and then all of a sudden each councillor said, yeah. Well, this is completely different, In my council, there is a lot of noise, and there's a lot of rhetorical fighting going on. And then, as I stop now we will come to raise our hands and take a decision.
You can
be polite,
pull the decorum back together.
Be polite, get along with each other. Yeah, it's certainly.
No, well, we get along with each other. Well, when things become too difficult, I say, well, we stop now, we go out and we have a beer together, and then we come back and then we solve the problem.
So you take the break during the meeting for the beer, and then you come back and come back
that
with the
helps.
meeting?
I think that's a good way to run a council meeting.
I don't know if you can pull that off in America, but you know, not every place is. But you know, we've always said that too. Is Bethlehem has a long history of obviously people have different opinions on things, but it's always that idea that you know you can disagree without being disagreeable, or you know, if I have a disagreement with you, it can be about that issue. It's not about who you are as a person. And there's always an issue next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks down the road that you need that experience for. And I think by and large that's been the history of Bethlehem. And as we've been talking, that spirit of collaboration is a huge part of who we are and what our success is.
Quite true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
Well, we have a lot of German influence. We talked yesterday about my last name. I'm very German. Is it interesting to see some of Germany's influences on Bethlehem and America?
You do, George, because when you go through town, and especially through the old town, you can see German architecture of like our, the houses which have been constructed in
It's almost
Schwäbisch
familiar.
Gmünd in the last 200 years. Yeah, there were quite some. The architecture. And then also the language, because we went into some Moravian buildings, and there inside you have all these sayings in German.
I don't know if you're going to the Moravian Museum, but I think you would.
We did.
Did you? Because you would.
Oh yes, we did, and well, we felt quite home, I must say. Yeah, it was like that. No, I'm impressed by the historical sites you have got here in Bethlehem. I think this is wonderful. And that you are taking care of them. This is also very important, and that there are people feeling like they feel responsible about the great history Bethlehem has got. Yeah. And I think this is an important part also for the future. If you want to know where to go, you must know where you come from. Yeah. So this Bethlehem is a great place for experiencing
We
that.
talk about that too, is that there's obviously the history of buildings, but there's also the history of values. There's a history of who you are as a community. And the Moravians, that idea of a community. Moravian University was the first college in America to educate women. It was about everybody. It wasn't just about the wealthy. It wasn't just about the rich. And that's something that we've been able to carry on. And one of our greatest celebrations of that spirit is Musikfest, because people are just walking around. Everybody can walk around. It is for everybody. Everybody gets to walk around and have a good time and listen to the music, and it's those values. It's people talk sometimes about the buildings, which we very much value and preserve, but it's how do we build on those? How do we build on those values of our past?
It's also very democratic, you know. If you organize and make possible access for everyone to something. This is a very democratic approach, and I love that. I could experience that in the Moravian Museum there.
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
and also that women could decide for themselves. I mean, get this: where did you have that? In Europe, this was not possible. 300 years ago, that was not possible.
Yep.
Women always had to do what the men were saying. So this this was different in here, and they are explaining this in the Moravian Museum.
One of the things I love about living in Bethlehem is when somebody comes to Bethlehem and they're not from there, showing them all the things in your city, because you're just, you know, people who also live on Main Street, but if you're not from there, you know, you walk up there like, that's a haunted, house, and this is why, because here's the history from the Revolutionary War. So I think it's just really fun to have you guys here and to share that culture with you.
And we were very impressed to see the chapel where 17 men who signed the Declaration of Independence were there in that chapel. That was impressive.
Well,
I think
my wife and I were married in the Sun Inn, which is George
in that
Washington.
chapel.
George Washington was slept there. Ben Franklin, John Adams. So there's just so much history is a part of it.
It is.
Well, thank you. This has been wonderful.
Great.
We know you have a busy schedule.
Yes.
We know you have a lot going on.
I have one more question though. Can you talk about the Dizzy D band?
Oh, the DCD band is
Yeah.
great. It's coming from
And they're
Germany.
So they're playing at Musikfest, but they are from Germany. They're from your city.
And they're from my
Okay.
city, from the sister city, Schwäbisch Gmünd. Yeah, and it will be great. It will be quite an experience, I tell you. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to experiencing the Musikfest for the first time.
Yeah. Well, we could not be happier. We could not be happier that you're here. You picked a great time to
Well,
come.
thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. As I said, I know you have a lot going on as far as what's going on today. I think before we go,
We're gonna bring
if we wanted to bring the other counselors on,
Yeah.
you guys just want to wave
Counselors,
to
please
the
come here.
counselors. Everybody come.
Here.
You can bring your beer. You don't have to put it down. It's
Sit
good.
there.
I mean, it's your own politics, your own pictures. You can deal with that if you want to.
And just
But
wave.
yeah, if you just want to come, wave, just kind of say.
Watch it. Go around that way.
Go that way, so you
Guys have a-
don't run into the wire.
Over this.
Yeah,
Please come over here.
Come around this way.
My setup here is very
This has
fragile.
been,
It's great.
this is the best moment. Come on.
Now these are councillors representing different parties.
They're all
in Germany.
different political
Well,
parties.
Yeah.
Which
and
is the
we get
best
along.
political party?
So it is like America. It's just like
Well, we've got from the
We are
Greens,
familiar
from
with
the
this.
Social Democrats,
Yes.
Christian Democrats, we've got everything.
Yeah.
Are you guys enjoying your stay so far?
It's perfect.
They
Thanks,
Thank
gotcha.
you.
Being here.
Oh, no.
And thank you for the experience. And thank you for met you completely and from learn from you.
Yeah.
From your culture, from your things, everything.
And we can't wait to party with you guys. Apparently,
Well,
it's going to be a
you
good
can't
time.
wait to party.
Oh, sorry. Mayor's obligations.
okay.
I'll take one for the team and
Yeah.
head out.
Yeah.
So,
This
Mr.
is
Murray,
amazing.
thank you very
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you.
Have
Thank
a
you.
nice time.
Thank
and
you.
a great
Thank you.
music fest.
Thank you. Love it. So
That was fantastic.
that was special. Some excitement there.
Wait, we have
I
one
forgot
more.
something. Oh, I forgot the gifts. I forgot the gifts.
no, it's good.
Well, I still have got a gift. George, this is for you.
Look at this, George.
the
Even
hoodie from Schwäbisch Gmünd. And then
he knows
George,
Wacker.
George, also this one. You know this? Have you ever seen that? You know what this is?
Well, I know he's crossing the
Washington
Delaware.
crossing the Delaware, and it has to do also with Bethlehem. And the guy who painted that was born in Schwäbisch Gmünd and grew up in Schwäbisch Gmünd, and then as an immigrant, came to America, and this is where he did this wonderful picture. And this is Schwäbisch Gmünd, guys.
No, there we go. Look at this. Thank you, Mayor.
so much.
Wow,
This is great.
this is fantastic.
Hey, listen, we can't wait to show them around more. But we have one.
We have one
not
more
a
guest.
Final guest. Not a, last but not least, of course, Mr. Pentley Holmes. I'm now into
Pentley, are you out there?
Come on over.
Pentley, come on over. Pentley, have a seat.
Thanks. Good to see you again.
Great
Mayor.
to see you. Great to see
How's
you.
it going?
It's going good.
Pentley, one of our favorite guests, one of our favorite local musicians.
Thank you.
Pentley,
He played at Live in the Garden.
Live in the Garden. He
Yeah.
took
One
the
of our
stage
things.
up there. He was a popular guest there.
Tried.
So Pentley, are you playing Musikfest? Do you have Musikfest dates?
I am. Yeah, I'll be here this Saturday and on Sunday.
Okay, so you're playing this Saturday, Sunday. Do you know the times?
Yeah, I'm at. It's so many. Gotta remember.
Don't worry, I got the app.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
George's got the app.
I think on Saturday it's at 5:30 on the Main Street stage, and then
Saturday. Saturday.
Who's got it?
6:30 on the Main Street stage.
6:30.
Sunday, August 6th, 5:30
got
at
it.
Liederplatz.
Yep, that's gonna be a trio gig.
Okay, and Thursday, August 10th at Lyric Platz,
Platz.
6 p.m.
Yep, there you
See,
go.
you're another one of these guys that so many,
bunch of gigs.
so many gigs, so many dates that it's hard to keep them. You just show
Yeah.
up. You just
They-
travel with
They
guitar.
get mixed up in my mind. Yeah.
You just travel with guitar, ready to go.
ready to go all the time.
So tell us a little bit about Pentley. Tell us about how you got into music. Tell us about your career a little bit.
All right, a little bit about Pentley. I started out when I was 18 doing hip hop, and I went to this live concert that was a benefit for one of my friends that had passed away, and it was all this live instrumentation. It was my first time seeing a live band, I think, and Slingshot Dakota was there. And
Who just
They just played.
They just went out
just
there.
missed
Yeah,
it?
they were
Played.
playing.
They were up there
That's
earlier.
amazing.
well, Carly was like a huge inspiration to me,
That's
and
amazing.
that's what made me want to play music. And that's how I got into it. I started playing and singing songs. Then I had this girlfriend. I went through this heartache, and the way to express myself and get over that was just to play music, and it just snowballed into this thing that just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I love it.
Did you know how to play guitar when you were doing the hip hop stuff, or did you have to learn that?
I did, and I had to learn it.
Wow.
I learned all by myself, and it's just like something I'm still working on, you know?
That's amazing.
But it's one of those things. What you do, you can do it forever.
Yeah.
It is.
So
it
I
is-
die.
Yeah, absolutely.
I plan on doing it forever.
Yeah.
What does Musikfest mean to an artist like yourself who's local? Like, is it that the big gig every summer, or do you use it as like a jumping off point, or what?
Yeah, it's the big gig every summer. I was born in the Valley, you know, I live in the Valley. It's like something I've always looked forward to as a kid, and like as an adult being a performer at the festival, it's just even better. It's like you just wait once like you know, the new year rolls around, you wait for that email to see if they're gonna have you back, and it's like
Christmas.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, they
It's
had
the
you
gig of all
back 3
gigs.
times.
Yeah.
We were talking before that one of the volunteers was on talking about when they sent out the letters to the vendors, being like, you got in. I said it was like college, like it's March, it's April, and it's just like you're getting the letters, just like you have been invited back to the New York plots.
Basically, yeah, no, totally, yeah. And you just look forward to seeing what stage you're going to be on, because it doesn't matter which stage you play on. It's going to be an awesome event. You know, they put a lot of work into it. It's just going to be. You just look forward to it every year. It never gets old.
Are you looking forward to seeing any bands or any artists at Musikfest?
My favorite band is the Groove Merchants.
Okay.
I love those guys. Just love them.
And they're local.
Yeah, they're local.
As well. I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
them play at the Allentown Beer Fest a couple times.
And yeah, I just love that band. Yeah, I saw them at Blues Brews and Barbecue, and I always
that's what
try
I
to
said,
catch them at least once every year.
Can you talk a little bit about the local music scene? Just what it means to be a part of the community, what it means to, you know, one of the things that we try to do in Bethlehem is, you know, we try to support, pay artists fairly, like support on stages that maybe people didn't have access to before. So can you just talk a little bit, because like you're not the first person to tell us or get up here and say, well, I knew this local band and they were an inspiration to me, or I wanted to check out my friends. I think a lot of people in the Lehigh Valley don't know just how many like awesome artists and bands we have here.
Yeah, I think that's like a really big thing. It's like, it seems like it's a small town vibe, but it's like once you get familiar with what's going on in the Lehigh Valley, it's like it's like a microcosm inside a macrocosm, however it goes. But it's like you go into it and it keeps getting deeper and deeper, and it's like every year it's like somebody else will come up that's been here for years and I've never found out about them. It takes like Musikfest or like something like Live in the Garden that you guys host, and it's like when you find out about them, it's like, how did I not know about these people? And that's the beautiful thing about our scene, is like if you don't know about it, you think it's just like this small town thing, but it's like you got to dive in and see how deep the water really is. It's beautiful.
That's how I felt about We're From Antarctica. I'm sure, do you know that? It's a local band.
I saw you just brought them to my attention.
Well, I saw them play at Tunes at Twilight in Bethlehem, and I'm like, where? I texted Tammy Wendley, a friend of mine who helps book them, and I'm like, this may be the best band I've ever seen. And it moved me to message someone else to be like, where did you find these guys? But they're a local band who's doing fantastic.
And we were saying that, like, too, is like the things, and you know this, is like the difference between someone having 1 million fans and having 10,000 fans might not have anything to do with music. It might just be the way that, like, their timing or how they got marketed or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And, like, if you just look at everybody, and that's what we have at Musikfest, is you walk around, you just close your eyes, you don't know whether or not you're at Wells Fargo Center or Madison Square Garden, or you're just at a free stage.
Right.
And, like, if people think about it that way, and they think about, like, I'm watching this person at this huge place with 20,000 other people.
Right.
It just gives you like this vibe and this feeling that, like, George and I talk about all the time, that and one of the things that's been so inspiring in my job is how many people like you, Pentley, that I've met that are just doing awesome stuff.
Yeah.
You're just doing awesome stuff, and it's like, it's proud. Like, you're inspired.
Definitely.
You're like, this dude's from Lehigh Valley. This dude's playing in Bethlehem.
And it's true, there's so many things. We talked about Live in the Garden. Just sometimes this summer, there were so many things going on. I'm like, it's almost too much. But it's a good thing. Like,
Yeah,
there used to be
definitely.
times when, you know, I would drive by the Rose Garden and be like, why don't we have bands? But now we do. And they're good bands.
Good,
and you talk,
yeah.
there's original music. It's fantastic.
We had a great event on Sunday. It was like a music industry event down there
Yep.
at the Ice House.
Okay.
Carly Commando was on the panel.
Okay.
And Carly
Yeah.
was there, and we just had some people there that were in the, in the production side or the engineering side. Like XPN was there with a table, and just was the first time that they did it. And I just went as someone like just a citizen wanted to check it out and talk to people. But you had Southside Arts District there, and they were just talking. They're like, what can we do with the scene? how do we support each other? How do we get out there? And a lot of the people knew each other, but there were some new relationships being formed and just some great ideas. Because that's like one of those things. It's like the Lehigh Valley, you know, like we all love it. But, you know, we have not always been an area that supports original music, that supports independent music. And, you know, artists like yourself is like, you know, we're doing everything we can to try to tell you that, you know, like, you know, you're a guy.
And that event was neat because like I could imagine that there's somebody like a singer-songwriter who's just starting out who doesn't know how to approach a restaurant or a bar. And there's some people discussing that and giving them, here's how I did it, some tips on that. So those types of events that was neat. Ryan Susko is the one who put that together.
Okay.
And he did a tremendous job. And I hope that they do more. The Ice House, again, is another
That's
place.
a big part of it. Like what you guys do, like putting on little events like that. Like there might be a restaurant owner there or somebody else that has a connection to a venue that sees somebody, and then they'll be like, we should have this guy doing that, or we should have him at this event, and then they have you at that event, and it just keeps going more and more.
And somebody else sees you there, and then you know, so
like what you do is such a big part of like helping the scene and helping like the person like myself who at first starting out didn't know how to approach the venue.
Yeah,
it all works together. All of it's all connected.
George and I have talked about this a lot over the years, and you know, but my whole like inspiration here is how many cool bands I heard like in someone's garage, or like someone's like, you know, we were at a party like in like high school or college, and we're just like, if that band, you put them on a stage like in the Rose Garden or on the Greenway or somewhere else, like that's cool. Like that's the vibe you're looking for. And like there's a lot of the other vibe which is good. Like I said, the cover band, like all that stuff is good. They get their opportunities, but there's just so many artists that, you know, and the thing about music is like people want to see you like believe in yourself. Like you don't have to hit every note. Like you just they want to watch you. They're a little jealous to be like, that dude's going for it. Like she's doing it. She's going for it. And like what is better than that? You know, one of the things the other day, there was a restaurant there and I was talking to, and they're like, we host local music, but it's on the second floor, so it's a real pain for all the bands to take their gear up there. So then we were talking about like, oh, there's like speakers, there's sound systems that may be like associated with like the library or the city that like they could just put up there for 3 or 4 months, and suddenly it becomes a lot easier. So suddenly now maybe they can pay the bands a little bit and everything else.
You don't have to lug it up and down the steps.
That's the worst part sometimes.
Well, I'm sure. Like, the getting home part.
You don't have roadies. You know.
Not at this point in the city. Not at this point now.
Yeah.
So are we looking to, as we wrap up here, a fantastic hour and a half. It goes by so fast.
Yeah.
Beyond Music Fest, are you doing anything else this summer that we should know about?
This summer, a little bit of traveling, playing out of state. Not a whole lot, no.
But just follow you. I'm sure, like, if I look up Pentley Homes on
PentleyHomes.com,
right?
Everything comes up. All you got to do is type in Pentley.
PentleyHomes.com. Do you have Pentley's dates playing again?
I did. Okay, let's
so
do them one more time.
We can remind everybody.
I am shilling the app, but it is
no. The app
is actually really
the app
helpful.
is like so helpful, and I will also say this:
everyone should download the app.
Yeah,
at least, like,
for you, not for us. Yeah. Like we're not getting paid for the app. Just so you have an organized way to take a look at all the bands.
Oh man,
what we got, George, on Pentley?
Saturday, August 5th, 6:30 on Main Street. Sunday, August 6th, 5:30 at Liederplatz.
That's the trio.
And Thursday, August 10th at Lyric Plots. And
There you
again,
go.
just the app is just so easy.
Convenient, yeah. Navigating the festival, everything you need is in that app.
Pentley, thank you for being a part of
thank
this.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys.
We'll
again.
check you out.
Right
As
on.
we told, if you're up there on stage and you see us out there, just kind of wave, just
salute,
throw me the guitar if you need a little backup there.
Okay, yeah, I saw you playing on a couple videos. I saw you doing your thing.
A little bit.
He's a guitar for hire if you need a backup.
Yeah, a little bit. Just guy, 20 feet from start. That's what they say. 20 feet over there. So, but anyway, this has been wonderful, George. Another one in the books. So if you're still watching, listening, first of all, you're a diehard guy.
We're still going. Thank you.
So it's been an hour and a half, but this is awesome. Come down.
Yeah, look, it's rocking outside.
Buy something. Oh, George, take a look there. We got people milling around.
Wow.
It's going to be another great fest. Number 40. Thanks for joining.
We see you guys. We hope to see you. If you
Bye.
want any shirts,
Say
look
hi
for me
when you
down
see
there.
us walking around.
Bye.
We'll see you.